Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us with this shareholder update. I'm happy to report that all of our systems are functioning. I should look in the camera so you can see that I'm looking at you and addressing you. My name is McHugh Pierre. I'm the president and CEO of Goldbelt Incorporated. We're really excited to do this for a second time. We had one of these updates in May, and it worked very well. I was reporting to you from a location in the lower 48 for business. And today I'm in Goldbelt headquarters in Juneau, Alaska in my office. I'm proudly displaying my plant over my right shoulder. Joanne Mason got that for me. She's a second mother, and I'm so happy to see that every day and reflect on the love that so many people have for us, for Goldbelt, and the love that I share and that all of the employees share for you and for this company. We're really excited. There's something that we say here. We talk about Goldbelt being a forever company. We understand and respect and appreciate the uniqueness that ANCSA was and is for us, and what it means to all the shareholders and what we represent as a business. We're not just some company that's here to make profits. We're here to work for you, to reflect your needs, your wants, your desire for a better community and for a better life, and how we can cooperate to make that happen. And it's really exciting. So we've got some slides today. I know last time I spoke for about an hour, and I want to make sure that I respect your time. I don't want to go for an hour this time. I want to go for about 30 minutes and stick around. We do have door prizes and stuff at the end, and I'd love to answer all your questions. That's probably my favorite thing to do. So we'll go to the next slide and talk about some of the business. So we've had a really successful 2022, and there were some things that we were concerned about going into the year. How would business in Alaska rebound after the pandemic? I know many of you know that Southeast Alaska was the hardest hit region in the United States from the COVID pandemic. We had 2 years of very little tourism activity, a lot of concern regarding our future for business, and things bounced back very well. So, and I'm leading with Alaska operations, but we recovered. We had a tremendous year. All of the businesses in Alaska performed as well or better than they did in 2019, and that's terrific. We had about 1.167 million large cruise ship passengers visit Juneau this year. Now, that was less than we had in 2019, but we anticipate next year, 2023, matching those 2019 numbers. So we're anticipating 1.4 million visitors coming to Juneau in 2023. And that means steady business for the tram, steady business for security, steady business for transportation, supporting whale watch and other stuff, charters. We also, we've already had a request to support the JDHS 40th alumni for the class of, let's put that together. So 2023, that would be the class of 73. So, or 83, sorry, the class of 83. So we're excited to work with the graduates of the class of 83 and do a lot of that stuff to just generally support a fun, vibrant Juneau summer. We do need you to spread the word. We need your help. We need to hire people locally. I can tell you that it was a challenge for everybody. And whether you worked in Alaska or out of Alaska, you know that a lot of businesses had a tough time hiring people. And Goldbelt has maintained a tremendous level of support from our employees to avoid the Great Resignation. We didn't have people, resigning during the pandemic. We've been very thoughtful to honor our commitment to employees, to maintain that institutional knowledge, serve our customers well with excellence. And we're able to build on our business because of that. But we have had a challenge hiring people to, work at the tram or be crossing guards downtown. And we'd love to just bring people in at all levels of the business. So, if you could share that, obviously it's not something that is a giveaway. It's something that it takes a lot to work and perform and do a good job and be dedicated. We do hire a lot of vets, And I think this is a really cool recognition that we received. We're sending out a press release today talking about how the U.S. Department of Labor continues to recognize Gold Belt for our employment opportunities for veterans. And this year, we've actually added companies to that list. So we received the Medallion Award for 12 of our companies: C6, CPMG, Falcon, Frontier, Glacier, Hawk, Nighthawk, Security, Transportation, Nishka Data Systems, Nishka Tech, and Peregrine Technical Solutions. We're so proud of the veterans that we've been able to hire. We believe that there are many skills and experiences that veterans have learned that we can help transition into civilian service to continue to build a strong community and a strong nation through our work opportunities that Gold Belt provides. And that being said, we had a tremendous end of the federal fiscal year for our federal contracting businesses. We were able to add a lot of work, and we continue to build strong relationships with our contracting offices, and we continue to outperform expectations. And what does that mean? It means that we can plan on consistent business performance in years to come. And what that means to you is it means that we can have consistent dividends, consistent benefits, something that you can rely on. You know, there's one thing, I'm about to be a parent, and I'm pretty excited about that, as I know many of you parents are, who are listening and watching today. But there's an acronym I learned, and it applies to so many different things in life. CPR, consistent, predictable, and reliable. And that's one thing that we want Gold Belt to be for you. We want to be consistent, we want to be predictable, and we want to be reliable. So as you go through your life, you can say, I know Gold Belt is going to do these things for us. I'm going to do these things for my corporation. And together we can do it year after year and continue to achieve our goals together. Let's go to the next slide, please. So this is a big deal. We know that we continue to have strong business performance, and we continue to have strong distributions. This year we'll have an $8 per share distribution. The Gold Belt Incorporated Board of Directors has done such a tremendous job giving management guidance and strategic vision to accomplish goals. And as a result, you can see this graph has steadily gone up year over year. It's mirrored the expectations and the strategic vision that the board has for the company, and we've been able to execute that. I think a critical part that I want all shareholders to know about is that the board is proactive and thoughtful, building strategic plans, thoughtful vision for the company, and the board has invited management to work on that with them. So there's a collaboration that is infectious, and it provides an environment at the business for results to be achieved. Last year, we had a $7 dividend. This year, we have an $8 dividend, and we know that it's sustainable. Our business performance is going to be similar to last year. Our net income will be similar, but our top line revenue will decrease. And the reason why our net income will be the same or similar, even with a net or with a revenue decrease, is because we don't have those losses from the tourism businesses. We don't have those losses dragging down the overall business performance. And we're really excited about this $8 per share. Gold Belt Inc. makes a contribution to the Gold Belt Tanah Distributions Trust. And that Tanah Distributions Trust, which you approved in 2019, has already saved you more than $2 million in taxes. And that's super cool. Gold Belt Inc., though, does have to pay some tax for making that contribution. So it's not totally tax-free to the corporation, but it's tax-free to you for federal income requirements. And we're very excited to utilize this tool and to continue to use it to its full advantage to benefit you and your families. This is the time for distributions. You see other corporations announcing distributions as well. And I want to take a moment to reflect on that because, Sea Alaska is giving a distribution, and part of that distribution that they're giving is that natural resource revenue sharing money that goes to the other village corporations. Gold Belt being an urban corporation, we don't receive any 7J money. The 7I money goes to Sea Alaska, and that 7J money that goes to other village corporations goes directly to you as a shareholder of an urban corp. So when you do receive that larger Sea Alaska dividend, remember that that 7J money is going straight to you and not to the business. And we're excited that you get to use that and support your family and do with it what you will with your full desire. There's another element of this that I think is really important, and that is, when do we get to multiple dividends a year? I know that's something that shareholders ask regularly. They ask directors, they ask me, they ask other staff, they say, how do we get to 2 dividends? Well, I can tell you that the Gold Belt Board of Directors has a vision for the company, and the vision is an investment fund that spins off money for you for benefits for dividends every year that is independent of business operations. And I can say that that is a very prudent, very mature, and wise position to take. So the goal is that once that fund has enough money, and we believe it's $30 million, and that fund is the Gold Belt Ancestral Trust. Once it has enough money to start generating enough interest and revenue for it to pay out a dividend, we'll see an audited number from that and a dividend in the spring, and then we'll have an operations dividend in the fall. And that's a really exciting place to be. We know that when that ancestral trust was formed in 2014, a lot of the predicted models showed a dividend being paid out in 100 years. And we've been able to spin that up. We've been able to increase business performance, increase contributions to that fund. And we're excited to hopefully see payouts at the 10 or 11-year mark. And that's a really big deal for Gold Belt, and we're so proud of that. Let's go to the next slide, please. Here are some critical dates for you to remember. November 10th, that's tomorrow. That's the record date. So please get all of your gifting completed, all of your estate issues completed. Call up the corporate headquarters. That's 907-790-4999. Make sure that you call us up, get all of your all of your file information addressed so it can be processed appropriately, and you can be the recipient of that distribution from the Tanah Trust on November 22nd. And so, we are going to be closed on Veterans Day. There's going to be a lot of veteran celebrations, and we honor and thank our veterans for their service. On the 15th, that's important for you to make sure that your banking information is updated. So if you have everything done, we want to make sure that you've got your account information up to date, that you have all of your direct deposit information up to date, and you're ready to receive that money directly into your bank account. And then on November 16th, we'll be meeting together in Juneau, and that's going to be a great time. I met with a bunch of shareholders in Anchorage. The Gold Belt board was there for AFN, and shareholders came together, and it was just nice to see people after the pandemic. We were able to get together to fellowship, share some lunch, share some ideas, talk about each other's family, and just generally see how everyone's doing. And we want to do the same thing. There's not going to be a formal program. We're not going to have a financial presentation or anything. It'll be an opportunity for you to see everybody, to meet everybody, and know how, just some things are going, and get back into the swing of things. And then that distribution date will be just before Thanksgiving. So you can anticipate the distribution from the Tanah Trust on November 22nd, direct deposit or check being mailed out. And then December 11th, we will have a Seattle Gold Belt gathering. So this is kind of getting back into the swing like I talked about, where in previous years before the pandemic, we would have fall or spring meetings. And we want to get back into that mix where we start to have spring meetings regularly. We share business performance, and we just, generally talk about what's happening and what you can expect, and continue to be consistent, predictable, and reliable. So that's all really good. I do have a couple questions, and I'll read them out right now while I see them coming on the screen. So Richard Knott asked, how is working for the city of Juneau and working for Gold Belt not a conflict? I'm especially if there's a loan to Juneau for equipment for a ski lift. So I'm not sure where the conflict is, but what you're referencing, Richard. But let me talk about some business opportunities here. So one thing that we are considering that you may have seen in the news is that the Eagle Crest wants to expand and build a gondola, and it's looking for a business partner to do that, to invest, to run it, to operate it. As many of you know, city governments are not in the business of making money. They're not in business. So what it did is it approached us and asked us to consider investing in that and running that business for them. So, we're considering doing that. It's not reached approval at all by the board. So this is something that is still in the preliminary stages of evaluation. But I think that if it is a profitable engagement, then it's something that we will consider investing in. And it's important to know that, business is what this is. This isn't a loan. This isn't like a gift. This is a business partnership that will produce results for shareholders monetarily. And that's what we evaluate our businesses on: hiring opportunities and monetary results for shareholders. I've got another question from Arnold Denny. How come the dividend wasn't larger since the company landed so many large contracts? And it's important to know that we have a percentage evaluation of net income that we give out, and we think about what is a sustainable dividend. So while it may be something at one time we could invest and make larger, we can't necessarily sustain that level of contribution. And the company still has to have money to reinvest in business opportunities in Juneau. And so, our commercial business opportunities are very cash intensive. And if we're going to pursue, expanding whale watch or buying another business and building opportunities in Alaska, building docks or other things that would allow us to capture more revenue in the future and create a more robust and better performing business, we have to manage how much money we give out and how much money we reinvest in the company. And I think that $8 is a record for operations performance. It's not a record for total payout, but it is a record for operations performance, and we're very proud of that. Justin Knott asks, if Gold Belt is creating more than 50 subsidiaries, why are there no native shareholders able to run any of them? Well, that's not true. We have native shareholders running subsidiaries, and we have native shareholders growing through the federal contracting business. And some of them have left and taken better jobs somewhere else, which we applaud and celebrate. And we always welcome people back to. It's important to remember that working for Gold Belt, is something that is a privilege. It's something that means it's your company, so you work hard. It's not an entitlement, it's an empowerment. And we have the opportunity to help people grow through their career, into their career, stay with Gold Belt or move on. And we're excited to see people grow. In fact, our best performing government contracting LLC is run by a shareholder, Jasmine Stewart, and we're super proud of her. And we're excited for other people coming up through the ranks to also operate and run their subsidiary when the time is right. I did have another question. I wanted to share this. Roberto Aceveda said, do you all have resumes and member profiles to review for vacant positions? Yeah, we do. We've been collecting a lot of resumes, and we always look for people to apply. And so if people want to apply, they can go online, go to goldbelt.com, click on our links, check out our job opportunities. But additionally, we try to keep as many resumes as we can. So when we do have vacant positions come open, we can ping people and say, hey, you might be a really good fit for this. And our shareholder, Naja Kukesh, who's our vice president of human resources, has been a terrific person to build a strong backlog of people, because we are, for the most part, a services business. And if we don't have the best people doing the best job, our customers will not be satisfied and we won't get rehired. So we have a strong focus on hiring the best people, and we encourage them and incentivize them to do their best. And that's why we're gaining more work. Just like Arnold talked about, we are able to really add a lot of business in our government contracting section, and we're excited to keep that consistent growth happening year over year. Let's go to the next slide, please. So we are gathering, and this, it's fun to talk and answer questions over the video, but it's even better to do it in person. And so I'm really excited to see you. The directors are going to be there. We're going to have staff there. We're going to have prizes. It'll be a fun time just to fellowship with your friends and family. Juneau on November 16th. That's going to be in the evening. It's a Wednesday. So come have dinner with us, hang out, have some fun, see people, share the love. And then in Seattle on December 11th. And that's a Sunday. And, you know, we've traditionally met at the Tukwila South Center hotel there. I want to say it was the DoubleTree. And so we're going to be in the same location, and we look forward to seeing you. Of course, we're going to send out invitations as well. So make sure to watch your emails, watch the social media. We'll continue to spread the word and beat the drum and make sure that everybody can come out. And we can talk in person too. So it's an opportunity for us to sit down and have real thoughtful conversations and share ideas about where we're going, what we're doing, and why we're doing it. Let's go to the next slide, please. So this year we invested in AFN, and I use the term investment thoughtfully because AFN is why we're here, going through the process to create this essential treaty with the federal government was very important, and AFN led that charge. And we were able to meet with Emil Nadi, who was the deciding vote to allow Southeast Alaska to be a part of ANCSA. And he was the chair of AFN at the time. And so the Gold Belt Board participated in AFN, engaged in policies and discussions, and it was really a valuable experience for everyone. I think one of the critical things for us is that we're the 11th largest company headquartered in Alaska now, according to Alaska Business Monthly's top 49er list. And that's a big deal. And with that comes responsibility and awareness. And we have a voice. And our voice represents you, it represents our community, and we're a strong advocate for our region. And so participating in AFN is allowing us to share what's important, what the priorities are that you share with us. And our directors leaned in, really talked about what are issues that we need to address. The Southeast Caucus was a very fruitful meeting, and I know that it informed the resolution process at AFN. And there are things that, you know, the federal government may try to do that we consider bringing forward to AFN to address. And thankfully, a lot of those adverse actions that were proposed were dropped, so we didn't have to take action at this AFN. But we know that this is a great opportunity for us to unite, to share our commonality, to build together, and to tackle our challenges together. You know, divided, we're easy to defeat, but united, we're strong, and we can win at anything we choose to pursue. Next slide, please. It was 23 minutes, but I'd love to take more questions. I know we have prizes and stuff, and we'd love to give those out. So let's take some prizes. Let's draw some numbers and see who's on board. As we go through the who all the shareholders that are on, I know we had at least 50 people watching at the start of the show, and I really appreciate everyone being on. The first prize is announced as Patricia Myers. Congratulations, Patricia. Thank you so much for being on and getting a door prize. I know there are other shareholders that were signing up and they were sending to their friends and their siblings saying, hey, if you don't sign up, you're not going to get a prize. So join up, pay attention, and give a prize. And we're super happy about that. The second prize goes to Charmaine Marie Drewley. Congratulations, Charmaine. And that's a really cool name. A third prize goes to Catherine Jane Wade. Congratulations, Catherine. The fourth prize that we have goes to Leonard Andrew Silverstein. Am I saying that correct? Leonard, if I butchered your last name, I apologize. I know that we'll reach out to you and we'll let everybody know who won. And we'll also have a slide up so people can see too. Another prize goes to Mary K. Luckhurst. Mary Kay, congratulations on winning a prize. And also, you know, there are gift cards that are going out as well. $100 gift cards. Those are really cool. We're super happy to give out those door prizes to people. And those are the prize winners for the live stream. Thank you so much for listening. So I do want to share something that's really important. So we're going to talk Q&A, and as some people ask questions, again, ask them here. This is great. If you can see us in person, come ask me in person too. But the CARES Act was a very successful event for us. We had a plan. The board of directors worked with management, and we built a plan that was going to be something we could execute swiftly, and we did it. And we're super proud of how that worked out. Well, we were contacted by the Department of Treasury and said there are more CARES Act funds to disperse, and we were eligible to receive another $186,000 worth of CARES Act money. That money has to be expended by the end of this calendar year, by December 31st. So what we're proposing and the board has approved is making sure that we can take care of elders in a supportive fashion. Remember that last time we had to take applications, and that was a very involved process. But one of the opportunities we have to provide relief with the CARES Act is some type of food benefit. So elders, we are going to be sending food gift cards to you this winter before Christmas. Our goal is to get those out as quickly as possible to execute all of those CARES Act monies that we receive. And we're really excited to help continue to provide the relief that is available from the federal government through the federal government to you. As you know, I keep on beating this drum. I want people to remember Southeast Alaska was the hardest hit economic region of the entire country during COVID. And so anything we can do to help provide some relief and help people rebound from that unfortunate pandemic is really important to us. Arnold Denny asked another question. He said, how much money is currently in the Ancestral Trust Fund? So we have about $15 million total in the fund. And so, that's split between real estate and investments. And we're excited to help grow that to $30 million as quickly as possible. So we think a couple of big chunks, a couple of big donations from Gold Belt Inc. to the Ancestral Trust will allow it to start spinning off that money. And don't forget, Arnold, the way the Gold Belt Ancestral Trust is built is that the principal can't be spent. It has to generate interest. It has to generate revenue for those dividends to be paid. So our goal and our thought is that if we start generating 1.5 million in interest every year, then that's a suitable amount that we can give out to shareholders and really have a reliable distribution from the Ancestral Trust. I've got a question from Catherine Wade. She says, is Gold Belt still interested in providing land for disc golf courses for our younger generation? Well, the answer is, yes and no. I think that it's important, Catherine, for us to discuss appropriate land use and how do we protect the asset. So, we're thinking about it from a Western perspective as well as a traditional perspective and making sure that we fully utilize all of the opportunities that land provides to shareholders and not taking it away from some shareholders for use. We also want to be thoughtful and allow the city to do things on its land that it should be doing for parks and recreation for young people too. We don't want to take away that responsibility. We want the city to own that responsibility to do that and to lead the way in some of that park development. I know there is a Frisbee golf, disc golf course. I want to say it's near Auk Bay, near the university. And I think that's a really good opportunity. But we're always interested in hearing people's ideas for, what we can do and how we use land and what we can develop on land. I've got a question from Carmen Quinto Plunkett. How much more would our scholarship students get if the board members were not on a full-time salary? Well, Carmen, thanks for asking that. So the board members are not on a full-time salary. The board members are appropriately reimbursed for their time, paid for their time, really, as a board member of a $450 million, $500 million corporation. It's something that is reasonable for their hours and their expertise and the time they put in, and they receive $3,000 stipend. And then, of course, there's a couple board meeting fees and some other stuff too. But It is definitely not a full-time salary, and I want to make sure that it's a responsible, thoughtful amount for a corporation our size. And we need to do what's right to look at the perspective of what our business is and what you demand for performance from our business. If you demand premium performance, you have to make sure you attract premium people. And our shareholders are premium. And I know you have the capability and the wherewithal to lead a strong and growing business. And our board is engaged and they're growing this business. And our goal, we're at 500 million now, 450, 500. We see that as a plateau. We're going to grow from here, and we want to reach $1 billion annually. Now, it's not going to happen tomorrow, but we definitely know in 10, 12 years, with consistent, dependable growth, we can reach those marks, and we can be even more of a leader for our state and for you. I've got another question here from Elizabeth Watanabe. She asked, McHugh, do you have any thoughts to create a corporate office in Seattle? Thanks, Elizabeth, for asking that. Some of our sister corporations and the tribe have offices in Seattle, and it might make sense for their business or their tribal engagement, rules and how they utilize their funds. For us, we're focused on making sure that we operate a lean, effective business. We don't want to spend money on building infrastructure that isn't necessary. We want to make sure that we operate a tight ship so that our profits go to your benefits. That's the goal. And so unless there is a big business need to expand an indirect footprint in Seattle, that's what we refer to, because it's not direct bill, there's not a specific job assigned to it, then we won't be opening an office there. And so I think that we would have to do a lot of business expansion in the Seattle area before we open an office to serve shareholders. Let's see, there's another question here. Patricia Tackett asked, do we have to reapply for this money? That's great for the shareholder, for the CARES Act money. No, you will not have to reapply. And there were some rules about how the CARES Act money was to be distributed. If it was for reimbursing funds, you had to apply to prove that you had those expenses. And that's why we took that application process and we were able to pay out money, is because it was a reimbursement. We were prohibited through the CARES Act of just giving out distributions based on per share or per person enrollment with the corporation. But one thing that we could do is we could provide food assistance and food relief without taking an application. So that's why when the board talked about this, it decided the best way for us to get this money out is to food relief to elders, and that would make an impact and help provide some assistance during the winter months and before Christmas. I know, we have a lot of other questions, and people are free. You don't have to ask them here. You can ask them to me in person. You can send an email, send in a chat later. But we are starting to wrap up. So we have more than 80 shareholders online, and I'm so happy to see you and engage with you. And I guess there's about 50 employees watching on YouTube as well. So that's pretty neat. Thanks for spending part of your lunch hour listening. And thank you so much for your service and your dedication to the company. We're excited about what's going to come in 2023. 2022 has been a tremendous year. We've been able to solidify our position after the pandemic and continue to build on our success. And we're thankful for all of your support, for your guidance and your encouragement. We look forward to seeing you in Juneau on the 16th and in Seattle on the 11th. Have a great day.